Hey, graduates. Hey, what's up? Good evening. Evening, what you doing, Vanessa? Big up yourself. Gloria, what's going on? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Yvette. Norma, hey sis, how you doing? How you doing? Jeanette Johnson, Wagwan. I know I don't normally come on this early, but I wanted to come on and get this out of the way. And so what I have to say and then go about my business. You understand? Yes. So we're gonna have a little combination of chit chats today, but I wanted to start with this particular point, right? So I want to know for share the live because obviously the graduates not gonna expect me so early, but I wanted them to share the live. Girls are nice, big up yourself. So let me just share this now. While you know them over there say that they're bagarag, I just want my graduates on this. You understand? Hold on a second. Let me share the link. I want to share this over onto my Facebook page and let them know that I'm live. Right? Managa stay long. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. All right. Hold on. Let me just tag this. Um, that's it. Okay. Share it, just share it. This so. Okay, let's go. All right. So graduates, say I have one and two because something more I want to say. And I don't normally pay attention to, well, not normally, but these days, me not pay attention to certain things. You don't know that. You know, so may I keep my head straight and narrow. I'm focusing on my new style of content, but this is going to be a mix of the old and a bit of the new. Because me see a play, and I said what I said on my Facebook page, but I'm going to say it here as well. You know something? Pasta. The pasta that came out with one whole bag of something to say. One whole bag of something this pastor had to say. And I'm only going to say this. Where were you all this time, Pastor? Now, I really don't understand how it is that this man of God, this person who is supposed to be spreading the word of God, preaching the gospel, recruiting for the house of God, so to speak, is now being dubbed a baga pastor. I am concerned that even amongst the leaders of the churches out here, I still can't see any difference. Now, I'm wondering if I'm the only one who was more than shocked when I listened to the perspectives of the pastor. Now, I'm not saying that the pastor is delivering a message that cannot be taken, is not delivering a message that can't be taken in. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the manner, the way it was, the way it was given to the public almost sound like it's a war start. I'm not going to lie. Because when me hear the pastor talking a few things, he must say, this pastor is very much all over social media. This pastor is very much listening to everything. This pastor sound like him depart every page, right? Taking in it all, taking everything in. And that in itself for me was almost like a red flag. Because, they say that you must be in the world, but not of the world. Now, this pastor is not the first time he's caused controversy out here. I don't really business about the controversy he's caused in the past, and I couldn't care less about how much money is donated on whichever platform. That's not relevant to me. But he addressed all Jamaican bloggers. So yeah, I have a stake in it too. He addressed all Jamaican bloggers. So when I listened to what the pastor had to say because, hello, it's a message for all Jamaican bloggers. I am such. I was expecting to hear words of guidance and so on, wisdom backed by scripture, right? But what I heard was a digging up of past events, a revisiting of old pasa and gossip, admonishing particular people. Fine. I don't really, have anything to say about that because it's nothing that hasn't been said already. But on top of that, Pastor, this is where I take issue. Apart from the fact that you're on all the mix-up pages. You're bringing in this lady when I had nothing to do with anything what you were talking about. No, because as we can clearly see, she's staying in her lane. She's doing her own thing. She's not paying attention to the baga and the nonsense. She's deciding to walk a new and different path. But here you are trying to pull her back into this kind of diatribe. And I don't understand what the motive is behind all of this. Like, if you are coming out here to speak about the fact that bloggers are constantly cursing each other and it's about time we move on from that, that is a good and positive message. But then to then link it to the lady once again, to me, just shows that you are kind of no different from the ones that are coming out here and constantly calling her name in mess. I'm not going to lie, that is the impression that I got. Because I don't see this lady even looking or paying attention or giving it any energy. But you are giving spiritual advice, telling her how great she is and, all them sugar-coated words and stuff, which is, to me sounds like flattery because this is stuff she already knows. And then you're trying to say how you'd like to give towards her charitable works, not because she doesn't need it, almost as though you're using money as some kind of hook or engagement, which I don't like because it sounds materialistic to me. Listen, I'm only giving my opinion. You understand? It sounds materialistic. If you're going to donate, you should do so whenever there is a situation that demands it. I don't see why it needs to be something that's placed on a platform and celebrated like I'm going to give big money. I don't give small money. You talk about it. Boy, me no know. Graduates, me wonder if I be alone. I see this. And I said to myself, what the hell? You seem to be a man of a man of a man of the material. That is what I'm getting more than anything else as opposed to spiritual. And I'm not trying to judge you. I'm just looking at the way you prioritized your perspectives. That you were talking specifically about your name brand, this and your care, and to me, that kind of discourse shows a preoccupation with the physical world and not necessarily something that I would look to for advice as a blogger. If you're coming to say, listen, focus on your ethics and not on mix-up. Speak specifically to the state and condition of our souls. Yes? Talk about the fact that a gossiping tongue is of no benefit. Yeah? But when you are calling out particular bloggers, even that to me sounded very calculated because as much as there are particular names that you seem to like to tout, you as a pastor, are you looking out for all of us or are you just looking out for the ones that are the most controversial? Are you only mentioning the names of the ones who are considered to be the movers and shakers in the blogging industry? I'm just asking. Because if you are looking to solve the full matrix by giving spiritual guidance, it should apply to all. I don't understand how a man of God is going to come out here and speak specifically about the negativity And you know what I find particularly fascinating is that when those of us out here are blogging about the positives or educational material, these people don't notice that. These so-called people who are talking about how bloggers are awful don't notice whenever it is that there's anything good to come out and say, oh my God. But no, probably it needs to be on the scale of that lady, where millionaire is behind the name for it to be noticed. Pastor, I'm calling you out. Because your focus is very much on that side. There are so many bloggers in this diaspora outside of the names that you called who are actually trying to present quality information that somehow you can focus on them there because no big money no they so. Or no, we're not there that's going to draw up your name up into the highlights. Me just a say. Something about you doesn't sit right with me. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm. And this is the reason why you are coined out here as a baga preacher, a baga pastor, because of where you choose to position yourself. Now I'm going to park you. I've said what I have to say about that, right? Because I still don't get what your agenda is. It doesn't feel positive, and it doesn't feel like it's coming from a good place. This is my opinion, not the opinion of my graduates or anybody else who's on this platform currently. It is my opinion. I think that when it comes to people, this is one of the reasons why I'm so turned off from church, graduates. Honestly, I'm so turned off from this whole Christian thing because some of the Christians that I see out here, none of them are any example for me to follow. None. I have not seen any that are so-called platform holders in our diaspora that I would look to. I do know some actually in a real life who are actually good people. And even them flawed, but hey, human beings are flawed. But still, they walk in the faith, and you can tell. They're not caught up by materialism, and yet they are blessed because them have it. But they don't present it as the forerunner of their thoughts and their ethics and their behaviors. The blessing comes as a by the way because God blesses his people. But at the end of the day, they don't lead with it. So you see, whenever it is that I'm listening to a leader of a church and he has to be using material things as a crutch, okay, you're coming from hardship. I heard that loud and clear. Now you have it and you're blessed, wonderful. But you banged on about it just a little bit too much for me. I'm just saying. Sounded a little bit too preoccupied with that. I'm wary of people like this. Very, very wary of people like this. Because at the root of all the gossip mongering and the mix-ups and blend and whatever it is that's driving a lot of the negative mess, at the root of it is financial gain. Yeah. At the root of it is financial gain. At the root of it is what will bring the numbers, what will drive the views, what will get people to give super chats. If me a cuss and if me a tear down a person, yeah, at that time me I go get the money. That's at the root of it. So materialism to me is right along that line. Yeah? And then waving carrots in front of noses in the form of $500 donations doesn't make you any more above what I'm describing. In fact, it makes you very much a part of it, a part of the problem. Disappointing because it's not like he did not have a good message, but the delivery, Pastor, the delivery to me was off-putting. And that's, once again, my opinion. So as I said, I'm gonna park that. And there's something I want to address, something I want to get off my chest before I go into the more, I would say, wholesome content. Is I was listening to a live today, and the person had some very solid points. Yes, I didn't make my presence known or felt because I no longer really engage in communication much other than on my pages, right? And on Planka Shop, you know that. But when I listened, I heard some very solid points. And it's something that really needs to be addressed. And I don't think anybody out here is ready for the discussion other than the usual suspects who are going on about it. And because they are men, nobody's paying attention, right? In a majority female dominated industry as blogging. And this is the point about women who engage with men on social media for the purpose of social media bangarang. Women who go out of their way to feed information and usually twisted information to get a reaction out of men in social media. At what point are we going to address that elephant in the room if anybody is brave enough? Because really and truly, you women are very, very much the core of the problem. I made it very clear when I took the stance that I took prior to changing up my platform that I have no interest in joining any kind of, movements, because I did what I did for selfish reasons. I did what I did for myself, and I still don't take it back. Right? But don't think I have not reflected and considered and wondered where all of that came from. As I listened to that live, it started to click and make sense. Some of you are out here manipulating bloggers and platform holders because of your own gripes, your own envy, your own jealousy, your own issues. And it's usually women tearing down other women behind the scenes. And because of whatever relationship you may have with the male blogger, friendship or otherwise, you are able to gain their ear and their tongue. And I'm not saying that sometimes the information that's passed isn't accurate, but sometimes it is fueled by your own green monster that's within you. And you use that opportunity to get that person to act out of character. And then that person is going to get persecuted or judged accordingly. This is why they say that whenever there is a crime or a bad man or one of them going there is always a female involved. Uno is the kind of woman that will hide on a man crime while him go out there and take people 3 points. I would really like to know what to get from things like that. If your lives can be so empty or your ethics can be so base and your standards can be so low that you take pleasure in bringing information to male bloggers to hear them denigrate other females. I am honestly, really and truly wondering who is the bitter one. Pick up yourself, Arlene. Because a lot of these men that are out here behaving like them in a zoo is because they've been given things to act on. I've heard it more than once. I chose not to address it. I heard it again today. Right? They've been given information by females to act, or they've been prompted to fight battles on their behalf. So you see, when I made that statement that day by day you are going to see what the real problem is, and I was the first one to come out and speak, there is more to it than what you might be thinking. What I find fascinating is that amongst those females are the ones who are trying to say that they are on this lady's side. And I'm not going to call you women out yet. But I'm using this as a teaching point. Because one has gone particularly silent, but I'm not going to say much else. All I'm saying is you know what you have done, and you know what you are doing. And even amongst you, love to talk about God. That's why I tell you some minute in a uno. You see, the more uno come and talk about God, some of uno is the more cruel uno is. Because uno not living the words that are coming out of your mouth. I'd rather see the person's spirituality before they talk about God. And it is quite embarrassing as a fellow female to observe how some of you people are manipulative, twisted, and bitter. And that you are of the same sex, the same gender as me. Because then all of us get tarred with the same dirty brush. I don't call for anybody to fight my battles out here. I don't. I stand on my own 2 feet and fight my battles myself. Yeah? I don't make calls. I don't go up into people's DMs with no baga and mix up. I don't. There are no recordings of me where that is concerned. Definitely not. Yet, which of you take issue? Now, a comment was made to me, and I took a while to take it in because I had to laugh to myself. Oh, we thought you were different, HTK. We thought you were different. You thought I was different. Okay. On the basis of the fact that I came out here and I defended myself, you thought I was different. And you know what was quite hypocritical about that comment? It's perfectly fine for the people who you revere to come out and defend themselves. Because I see one in the comments running up and down going, she have a right to talk her mind. She have a right. A long time, them depend the lady, make her vent. But yet you try to suppress others on the basis of, well, you're more educated. So what am I trying to say? I'm more educated than una auntie, so I'm enough to defend myself. Heights of foolishness. So this is what I have to say to such people. I say, listen, if you expected me to be in a public space and be unnecessarily bullied by people who I have not disrespected, then really and truly come off my page. Keep it moving. Yeah? If you've noticed, since I have changed my content, my page has started to grow, and it's growing every day. And that tells me something. That really and truly indulging was holding me back. Yes? So that in itself is a blessing. Every change is for a reason, and hopefully not a season. But the hypocrisy of it is that you think it is fine for somebody who is not educated to stand up for what is right. But somebody who is educated must take the bullet because they're not human. I don't want any such supporters at all. I'm going to be doing things the way it's supposed to be done for my true followers, my true subscribers, my true supporters. And anybody else who is trying to get me to mirror their image of who they think I should be, please keep moving. Because none of you are going to have the discussion. Those who claim that I should be something else are not going to have that discussion to say, well, this one never did you anything. No, you're not going to say it. So why should I please you? Why should I please you? Who to know if you are not the same ones that are busy sending things to the male bloggers to costs? I'm not going to please any of you other than my true subscribers, true followers, and myself. Because you're hypocrites. Yes. But as I said, mix up on a what, mix up on a going to get, because that is what you thrive on. That is the kind of thing you feed on. That's what you enjoy, and that's what you partake of, and that's what you support. And that's where the numbers will go. And for those who are financially dependent on social media, that is what they will give you because that's where you flock. And then you same one would turn around and go, oh, why don't they do positive content? All right, and I notice that since we start the positive content and the numbers and the views them drop. Yes. When I do the passa and the numbers jump up, I wanted to prove it for myself. You notice that it is when I'm doing the mix up thing, them everybody share. And then when I'm doing something that's educational, the shares are minimal. The shares are still there, but they're minimal. Yes, but somehow the page is still growing. Explain that. I'm just showing you that you are what you feed on. So none of you who were busy giving advice about how HTK you're supposed to keep it at a standard can talk to me again. Because you're not supporting the standard when it's there. No. Give me the ones that say HTK, be yourself. Give me the ones that say HTK, be yourself. That is where I will be. So anyway, moving right along. So for those of you who are looking for mix up on a care run, go on now. Let me and my people them talk. Right? So I came across this rather interesting story and I really want to talk to you about it because I don't know if any of you on this live has had the experience of being a stepmom. Um, and you know, being a stepmother is such a multi-layered thing. It can be extremely rewarding. It can come with a lot of kickbacks. And this particular family um is a stepmother, a husband. She has her own children, her own two children, biologically between herself and her partner. And she has basically taken on the raising of her husband's first child. So he's the eldest. And what I was attracted to was the fact that this young man, he has the same name as one of my sons, right? So listening to her story, she had put up the fact that they were trying to get a passport for the child to travel with them. So she has her American and her Canadian visa. Her husband has his American and Canadian visa, same for her kids. And the situation is that the passport of the child, the first son, the passport has expired and she needs to renew the passport so that she can do the application. And when they go on family vacation, she can take her stepson with her. Anyway, the passport renewal needs the authorization of not just one parent, but two. So the father's authorization and the mother's authorization to renew the passport. The mother is living in America and has refused to sign the application form for the child. She does not want the child's passport to be renewed. There was a whole thing on TikTok, about it. And I was like, what the hell happened here? Because the mother is trying to explain why she did what she did. So she has a YouTube channel, guys. I will share it so that you can go and follow her. But she has a YouTube channel, and on the YouTube channel, she put up a video saying, boy, she's just trying to do what is best for the son. She doesn't want to go off on holiday and leave the son behind. And she doesn't know what to do. She said she went to Pika to try and get the passport thing sorted out. Pika even ring the mother abroad. The mother refused to answer, to communicate with Pika, or gave them a flat out no. And she just wants to move forward, and any help that can be given towards any advice or whatever, she's welcome to have it. Well, the mother went up under the post on YouTube, and I'm going to share with you the comments that were there because the biological mother had a lot to say. And I want you to really assess this as we go through it and tell me if you think that this was a wicked stepmother or not. Because they say that there is more than one side to a story. There's your side, my side, and the truth. But I can understand both perspectives. And this is what I'm trying to say, that there are some real difficulties when it comes to raising somebody else's child that we need to be aware of. Hold on one second. Let me just share my screen. Right, put a thumbs up if you can see that. In the meantime, let me hail up people because I'm sure I've missed some people. Big up yourself. Talk Truth UK, good afternoon. Stacey McDonald, Wagwan. Jenny Tom, big up yourself. I see you. Marsha Lambert, blessings. Millicent Myers, blessings. Galsa Nights, Wagwan, Wagwan. Okay, hold on a minute. How many people are on this page? 87. How much likes there, sir? No, sir. Well, no, that don't make it. When really have to have me begging for likes. I don't think that should be the case, guys. No, it's 91 of una can at least click like. I'm not asking for super chats. I'm not asking you to pay into Zelle. I'm not asking you for anything else. Just bump up the algorithm so that we can have this crucial discussion. All right. So, this is what was said. Hold on a second. I'm going to stop my video. Okay, that way it's full screen. So according to the mother, see if I can go. Oh no, that is the shooting something. Right. Let me go to I want to find the first one. Okay, so this is the first thing that she put on the YouTube page. Make it so a little bit bigger. Okay, so the name of the mother is blatantly there. I don't think it's anything to hide. Her name is Anna K. Wilson. She said, I am said mother that all of you are referring to because everybody jump on the mother and start tell the mother, say she wicked and she a blight the young man future. She a be spiteful. She not letting go about whatever past disgruntlement she have with the father and Ray. You understand? So I really wanted to see what was going on with the biological mother. And I never wanted to pass no judgment. And I'm still not passing any judgment, actually. Because as I said, I can see where both sides make sense. So she said, I am the said mother that all of you are referring to. It is pretty easy for you to comment on something you know nothing about. I am Anna K. Wilson. I have nothing to hide, and I guess because I avoided watching these videos previously, people find it necessary to back up the wrong tree. See them start judge her, so this a person, yeah, what a wicked mother, etc., etc., etc. All right? So them they're busy judging her. Okay? So now the lady whose YouTube channel I'm saying you guys should go follow. Her name is Davian Forrest, or Davia Neil Forrest rather. Davia Neil Forrest. So just go to that page and you will see our family and everything. Responded and said, it is not too late to forget the past and do what is best for your son. There is no justification for hurting him and putting him in the middle of something he should not be affected by. Big up yourself, bro Shaka. Hey, Elaine, what's up? Jonas, Sindrine, big up yourself. Now, that was the first thing that she did in response to the mother's comments, because the mother was getting slated. Now, Davia is a teacher. And as a fellow educator, I feel like I can talk to her. Davia, I honestly think that putting this out here is a little bit too much, because for one thing, you're talking about the woman must forgive the past. What happened between your husband and this lady is a previous chapter and not really your chapter. For one thing, whatever it is that your partner is going to tell you is always going to make your partner look like him is the better one. Yes? Because we all know when man left woman and them go chat the woman with the next woman. Them very rarely have good things to say. So when she come to you, when him come to you and I tell you the things then, no matter if him say one or two good or 10 bad, him go tell you. Right? So it's not your place to tell another female to forget the past. That part of it is going to upset her, first of all. Because your pain is your pain, and how long you want to carry it, and how long you want to carry it, and how long it take you to get over it is how long you take to get over it. Now, doing what is best for the son, that is another thing. We're going to go into that. Right? Okay. So this was, and of course, while she was there communicating with the mother, people kept on bashing, people kept on cussing her and telling her the things them, right? So the mother replied and said, if the truth should be told, a lot of you would be saying otherwise. By the way, Nate has a US visa and he traveled in 2017 with me. That is, so the story starts to unravel even more. That this young man was in fact given an American visa before, has traveled with the mother before, come back to Jamaica. So let me give you the background story now as to how we end up here. Yes, at the time his passport was valid and so on and so forth. The mother decided that she was going to migrate to the United States to work. And of course, she did not send for the son. She left the son behind. But what did the mother do? Despite the fact that the father is still very much there, she left the child with a friend. Now, Davy and her husband are used to taking the son on holidays, special occasions, and whatever. They took him for a holiday and actually did not return the child when they learned that the mother had gone abroad and migrated. They made the executive decision, and this includes the father, obviously, led by the dad, to keep the son on the basis that the mother has migrated and cannot manage the child at the moment. So he will take on the responsibility of raising the son until she's in a better position. Now, first of all, mom, you know that the father is there, or you migrating, and you decide to leave your son with a friend. In itself, isn't right, because you should have advised him or had a communication with him to let him know what was going on. No, I don't understand why that was not done. Maybe it is on the basis of how you and him broke up and the things that did that go on, why you make that decision, right? But here it is that the man now wants to step up and he wants to fulfill his responsibilities. I understand that he was not, in fact, fulfilling his financial responsibilities at the time, but he's now in a better place and he can now do so. You understand? So if the man is wanting to step up to the responsibility of raising the child, I think he should be facilitated to do this without it having to be used as a thing against him. But from what I'm gathering, the issue is really with the fact that he's going to be not just raising the child by himself, but in a completely new nuclear family, including the stepmother. And I'm wondering really if you don't want your child raised by another woman. But your friend is also another woman. And in fact, even more estranged from the child than the father and the stepmother and his half siblings. So any crosses that could have take place in that household could have also take place with your friend. Could have also take place with your friend. No matter how much you think say your friend would have dead there and your friend would have your back, you don't know what can happen. Right? So anyway, let us take a look at this comment that was made. I don't know what Madam Stepmother is trying to gain from this video, but just setting one thing straight. My son is my one and only child, and I have never for a second stopped loving or caring for him. They are being vindictive and trying to keep my son from me. A son that I struggled with from birth in 2010 until I left Jamaica in 2021. I don't need social media approval to dictate what I do for my child. You are not going to see me making videos because that's definitely not my style. But again, I say, if all truth should be known, you keyboard warriors might just be singing a different song key. So when me read that, I said to myself, but backside, that sound like say, the mother, I pretend to be a good mother, but she abusive under the quiet. I wonder to myself, but wait, I wonder if this mother is not a good mother and she's just, because when I tell you that, when you see how the lady presents herself on social media, she's very mild-mannered and very gentle. You'll see a video soon, it is coming. She's very mild-mannered, she's very ladylike, and so on. She talk about God. And you know, so me always have my red flag up when people talk about God. But, you know, she talk about God and she seemed to be, you know, living the way, the truth, and the light. So yes, I said to myself, say, I wonder if something is going on. Now, the YouTube platform holder responded and said, I tried not to tell the story to save you from disgrace. This video is to get help from people who are in a position to. I've already accepted that you cannot be reasoned with. I didn't even know you watch my videos, so this is definitely not about you. Don't make things worse on yourself. No, come on now, Davia. How could the video not be about her? Remember that before the lady came out and made a comment, you know, people had already started to attack in the comments and to tear her down as the mother and saying that she had tried to blight the son's future, and she's spiteful, and she's vindictive. So if you did not even come out and say those words, your very message was subliminal enough. The deduction was there, the inference was there to say this woman a whole backy youth. And you don't understand why she would want to do something like that when you don't want to leave him behind when you're going on holidays. The direct finger is going to be pointed at the mother. So you're saying that you're trying to save her from disgrace is not accurate because you don't disgrace her. Brochaka say, maybe it's one of those Sunday Christian. Me don't know. Right? But you already disgrace her. Then now you come and say that she cannot be reasoned with. So you tell your whole audience that she ignorant. Right? So you disgrace her 2 times. In the one comment you disgrace her 2 times. Right? So now, let me go back. Right now, this individual, me not know is who, but he come like say, is a family member now. Because it look like say the mother run go get ammunition. She run go get people now to come defend her. Because this Yannick seems to know a lot. Even though she claiming she don't know the woman, she seems to know a lot about the other side. She come up, she says, I don't know this woman. I've never met her, but trust me, she's not telling the entire story. They're the ones who are keeping the child from his mother. This is her only child. She raised him by herself until 2 years ago. There's nothing that he needs this mother wouldn't give him. So even her saying that shows me that she's the mother friend, or she know the mother. Then she come again, but it's okay to isolate him from the only family he ever know. So the isolation part now is basically the fact that the stepmother and the father used to allow the child to go. You will hear it in the video, used to allow the child to go and visit, his mother's relatives and stuff. And then apparently the mother's relative would be tearing down the father in front of the child. And that to stop this kind of message, these double-sided messages going into the child's ears, they then stopped those visitations from happening. Now, again, I'm going to say that it will look like that you are stopping the child from having a relationship with the mother's relatives. But let me tell you this. I don't think it should have been stopped. Because at the end of the day, if you are aware that a conversation has been happening where families saying inappropriate things, it should be a conversation between adults to say, listen, my child don't need to be exposed to whatever it is that happened between me and the mother. But it shouldn't be a case of, okay, well, no one will see because you not say something bad about me. Because trust and believe, all of this that is being said, you may not be using bad words, you may not be calling her an old fat because you said that, because them call him an old fat, even in the comments here. You may not be doing that. But you are in fact tearing down his mother. Even by this whole video, even by the comments and what you are stating, you're tearing down his mother. So he might get it from your side too, as well as on the other side. So how are you people any different is what I'm saying. How are you people any different? Because just because you may say it in a nice speaky spokey way, I use the same word when you use describe me all the time. And or you might have said gently, or you might have put God after everything, right? It don't mean say you're not this her. So she says here, this is the mother again. My son means everything to me. You won't see me with a YouTube channel, but I don't have time for what is important to me. What is important to me is that my child is staying on top of his studies and is happy. I can't even communicate to my child because any little thing that happens, they take away his devices. The only means I have to communicate with him. Now look on this. Now, Mom, this is where we have to draw the line with you a little bit. Because how can you have a child and you can't even communicate via the parents to speak to the child? You wanting to communicate directly to the child alone. So you are basically dancing circles around the adults who are who are his carers in order to speak directly to him. Now, I can understand the safety method of that as well, because think about it. If you are thinking maybe my child not being treated right, and if me talk to him via them devices, it might have been in front of them. So therefore, him can't open up and tell me the things them. So by me speaking directly to him when he's alone in his room, him on the iPad or on the tablet or him on the phone, then he might I can tell me the things them and be honest and truthful about it. Fine. But then there should be a discussion had that listen, I will be making contact with my son every X time or every whatever. Even if I call him in between that, those are set times. And at those set times, he must have access. I don't care what is happening in the household. I need to be able to speak to my son one to one. Them should not be able to deny you that. And this is where co-parenting is so important, that you work together when you are estranged from your ex-partners. Having open communication so that you make the best decisions. But everything here so is fueled by emotion. So everybody up in their feelings. Because you're not supposed to have that as your only means of communication. It shows you're not co-parenting right. Because even if he got his tablet or his mobile phone confiscated because he must stay on it too long or whatever. It should be the case of you should be able to ring the father, even if you don't want to deal with the stepmother. Ring the father and say, listen, I need to speak to him. What did he do? Why doesn't he have his phone? Blah, 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 blah. But you're not even talking to the father. That don't make any sense. So now this particular thing came up. And I was like, but hold on, this not sound right neither from the stepmother perspective and the father. The mother says, lady, with all due respect, you don't know me and I don't know you. Just know that the lady has a US visa and could have more than travel, but I asked for the child to visit and they refused more than once. So now you're going to hear in the video why it is that it was refused, right? So I'm going to go over to the video now and we can have a little discussion about it afterwards. Hold on 1 second. Let me stop the share. Let me pull up her video. All right, are we all seeing that?
No, guys, you see, you have to know who you're dealing with. That way you can tell it to answer. So you can tell it answer on the pin from
All right.
that I saw.
All right, me turn up the volume now. And I can't hear. Pick up yourself, Jacqueline. Hey, unique treasure, what's up?
Somebody had said
Yeah,
something
Jay, big up yourself.
apologizing, right? One day, out of the blue, she messaged Denver and said she forgives him.
So Denver is the
That she
man.
has forgiven him for everything. Out of the blue, one day, she just messaged him and said she forgiven him, like, she's not going to hold anything against him. She has forgiven him and she's letting go. I just had to say that because you're talking about apologies. So apologies has absolutely nothing to do with the decision that they have taken. As I said, we used to take in every summer, every Christmas, all holidays, Easter sometimes, whenever we could. I remember even like having a BJ's birthday party. We sent to Ireland for him one of the times so he could come to his brother's birthday party and stuff like that. So he has always been in his life and we always wanted him. It is just that she said no and we respected her decision. Yeah, kind of she comes from. Kelly, hold on, Kelly, I'm not seeing your comment properly. Even though it's saying when I go on it, I'm not seeing it good. But Kelly, she didn't leave him with us. She left the country, left him with a friend, didn't tell any of us anything. It is when we found out that she was not coming back to Jamaica, we said we would keep him until she was in a position to take him. Mother going through situations like this so many times, all blames placed on the father, the workplace papa. In the comments, right? The aunt, she commented and she called him all farts. That is one of the reasons. She said something about us not wanting him to be around that side of the family. That is one of the reasons that then they reduced the amount of time that he spends with her because it used to be that because she's in the area, it used to be that he could go and call to her. I would send him and say, go and look for your auntie. Whenever we go into the town, she has a business place in the town, I would tell him to go and look for her and call to her and whatever, right? I used to do that. It's when they started getting abusive and saying certain kinds of things that we said we cannot expose the child to things like these. So like the mother would be talking to his father and calling him a banai tan can hand. None of the learn people to know me at all. Come no one will come black me so me call me say certain things.
I want to hear so.
So
You know pig Latin. What is she saying? I can kind of guess that is a B man. Am I wrong, guys? For those of you who speak pig Latin, I don't know.
him
Let me skip.
those are the kind of things. And they were one of the things that Denver was concerned about is like he has come so far, like where we took him from when he just came here. He has come so far because he was just filled with so much hate and so much bitterness. And we
You're
had to
there.
work on him. I remember one of the times, and I'm going to end the life soon, not end the life by 30. I remember one of the times, right? He confessed to me and told me that he complained to her one time that we were asking him to wash dishes that he did not eat out of.
Well, let me see what time is it. Which minus the W plus the B. Oh, okay. Okay, me get it now because me couldn't understand because I don't do pig Latin, my love. Me get it.
He was giving us trouble. He was back talking. He was fighting
Hear
that
it.
he did
I
not
want you to
eat.
hear it.
One time that we were asking him to wash dishes that he did not eat out of.
So straight away we hear one of the maternal fears coming out. And because once again of that poor communication where she's only speaking to her child, she's not able to express herself to the adults in the picture and get multiple sides to the story. So she's obviously speaking to the youth, checking on what is happening in the household to make sure that our picnic gets abused. And she's within her rights to do that, right? Now, she's hearing that he is washing up all the plates of not just himself but his siblings as well. Now I'm gonna say the siblings are they're fairly small, right? Them are not baby, but I wouldn't trust them for wash plate. They're not gonna wash good. You understand? He is the eldest of them. These kind of things are normal in a household where you have an older sibling and younger ones. The older one will take the lead on certain chores, right? And that's not a strange thing, but the way it would have been twisted by the mother is she's gonna be thinking, you have my pitney, I turn my pitney in a servant, in a slave. And you have my pitney, I do all of the washing up after your pitney them. That is a bitterness that is being passed on from the mother to the child. That's wrong in itself.
So he was giving us trouble. He was back talking. He was
Okay,
fighting with
Miss
me. He
Itame.
was because they were instilling certain kinds of stuff, you know? Yeah, they were instilling certain kinds of stuff that made him feel as though he needed to fight against us, you know, like we were the enemy.
Yeah.
We were the enemy. So no, tell no our business goes which school she used to go. But the good thing is she's growing.
You guys think about this, graduates? Do you think it was right that they basically stopped him from going around the relatives of the mother because the relatives of the mother were saying certain things that were putting negative thoughts in his head towards them, making him less what's the word? Not malleable, less able to be influenced by them in a positive way, or make him more he's criticizing everything that they're doing and looking at it as some unfair treatment. Now I can understand that, but was a discussion even had between the adults about this, or did they just yank him? Because it's one thing to say, listen, I can't stand the way you guys are twisting things, and have a discussion with the adults about it, right? And then it's another thing to not have the communication, because I gather that they're very non-confrontational people. And then to just take the child and stop the child abruptly from seeing the family members. They are going to think that there's other things going on. Well, I mean, I know. What do you guys think? I'd like to see in the comments, right?
Growing. He will not remain a child forever, and this too shall pass. It would be very sad if he never gets to travel until he's 18. It would be very sad. Yes, she was a teacher here. But I think he's doing well. I think he's coping well. He's still doing well in school. He has me and he has his dad that he can talk to about anything, anytime. Sometimes some of the conversations that we have, you know, like, when a child is growing up,
So, Alika Brasa says, I think it's wrong for them to withhold contact from the maternal side. They should have been, yes, supervised visits. Isolation is never the best option. I agree with you 100% on that. There was something that didn't sit right with me about that, because he himself would be yearning for his maternal side, right? And it shouldn't be stopped completely. Either way, HDK is damaging to the child upbringing to use him for their personal spite. Exactly. Both of them are doing it. That is the point I'm trying to make. She's seeing the mother, and the mother's side, and the things that are blatantly wrong. It's like, say, how people judge people who put themselves together nicely, as opposed to somebody who carry themselves baga baga. The baga always look to the baga baga, the load of vulgarity, to say, uno are the nasty one, uno are the dirty one, uno are the worst. And then the one them that present themselves prim and proper, you're gonna be thinking, oh no, they're not capable of that. It's almost as though it is that kind of divide, because the way she's making them sound, they're using language that she would not use. So she all pretty tough. And then now she's making it look like, because they're that vocal with whatever is going on, they're the ones who are the problem. But I'm seeing it both ways, because you guys are carrying an upset about how they are criticizing the father. Therefore, you have stopped the child from bonding with his maternal side. That is a child paying the price for whatever issues you have as adults. Big up self, real talk.
yeah, that is the thing. He's growing. He's coming to know things for himself. So even when they're actually in all sorts of things, in the blind,
And that's why you shouldn't stop him.
Experience will teach him what to do. He is experiencing things for himself. Remember,
Correct.
people can pretend so much and know more. People can't pretend every day of their life. People can't pretend every day of their life. So if they want to say we are pretending and this is not who we are and we just have one like we nice. In fact, in one of the comments, the auntie said, me have one like me nice, and
Yes.
one here have one like me nice. That is because that is her impression of me. She thinks I'm
Okay, so I was right when I said that the person in the comments is close to the mother. Is actually the mother's sister. She says is one I'm auntie. Okay.
yeah, I am the same person all the time. I'm going to be the same person all the time. So if them wants me act like me nice, that means them probably just think I'm nice because they when act all the time. Thank you.
No. Another issue that came up was the fact that they tend to they both have cars, right? So she and the father have cars and they travel to work, etc., etc. They also drop the younger ones to school. No. Wanna tell me wanna think about this because this never sit right with me neither. Me coulda understood this stance um where the eldest child was concerned and in her mind nothing is wrong with it, but I see a big red flag here. Listen to this.
I drop DJ at his school close to school. I drop DJ at his school gate. He walks the rest of the way to school. In the evening, he walks home from school. As a child, the distance that I used to walk is nothing. What he has to walk is absolutely nothing in comparison to the distance that I used to walk. And
You're
I
there.
never had a problem and I never thought it was abuse. Never.
Right. So listen to what she's saying, One child goes to school close to where she works. Therefore, it is very easy for her to drop that child and take that child. The other child is taken obviously by the father. And this eldest child is left because remember, there is a huge age, the younger ones are of primary age. This one is secondary age. So the secondary age child who's 14 is made to walk to school every day. Yeah, every day while the two little ones are dropped at school. Lady V says once a child sees disunity between parents, they will manipulate and eventually grow resentment toward one side. Very good point.
Like it was abuse when I used to have to walk from school. If it rains, his dad goes and picks him up. If it rains, his dad goes and picks him up. He probably walks. I would say maybe the walk is about 15 minutes if he's walking and relaxing, like a nice normal walk. 15, it's so much. If him just a taking time and walk. If him just a taking time and walk. But I cannot see the only reason why the other two children not walking yet are because they're young. Because they're young. Because of time constraints, Sammy J, but that is beyond the point. That's beyond the point. Like
So she's basically saying that because of time constraints, that is why they do not drive him to school. He has to walk to school. I'm going to say this 15 minutes leisurely walk. It not sound that bad. I know that in Jamaica, even though my mother drove, she would drop me to school, but coming home, I literally wanted to walk with my friends, right? And that was from primary school. I wanted to walk with my friends. So I used to walk home on purpose because I wanted to walk home with my friends. When I got to high school, however, because obviously I'm a girl, my mother don't really want me on the road as such, and to me, that was the time for me to be on the road. But man will look. So she said no, she had picked me up. And that was the case for the majority of the times. But occasionally I would beg her to let me take the bus with my friends because I wanted the experience. By the time I got to sixth form, I was driving to school. So that was no longer an issue. But I'm saying that to me, if you've got two vehicles, you're trying to tell me there is no way you could part drive him, walk even less. I don't know, but him going to see an inequality. I would have probably put him in a one taxi or something, so me no know. But I saw me stay because I just feel say if my two pitney them are going in a car, all three pitney supposed to in a car. That is just me and my mindset. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that that's a fair setup? Do you think there's nothing wrong with
Drop him at school sometimes. There are times when we will drop him, but because of the timing, because I have to drive
all right?
to work. So for me, his school is not in the direction that I go to work. DJ school is in the direction that I go to work. So I will drop him. He walks the rest of the way, and I drop DJ, and he walks the rest of the way. But let me tell you something. Even if he had to walk the entire way to school and the entire way from school, that would be fine. That does not amount to abuse. There is absolutely nothing wrong
Yep.
with a child walking, whether or not I have cars. That is besides the point. And parents who think that way, they know.
And Tammy, you raise a point, you raise a point. Exactly. And I Lady V you too, because I'm just saying to myself, she had talked about way back when. Even when I spoke about way back when. And even then, by the time I got to high school, my mother never warned me upon the road. You understand? And that was way back when crime was not as rampant as it is now. Alika Brata says it seems like this lady has already decided what the routine for the 14-year-old is instead of having that conversation with him. Yes, unfair setup. And she should not compare. I agree.
Child. No one what is best for the child. Because I would think that there is some amount of growth and maturity and discipline that comes out of things like that. I have absolutely no regrets about walking to or from school. Okay, send money then. You can pay taxi for gas, but
Hear that? So somebody in the comments said, well, put him in a taxi, which is what I was saying. So that, I'd put him in a taxi if anything. I should go send money then. So she's making it look like money is the issue. No, remember, the mother in the comments make it clear that I showed you guys earlier that there is nothing that she wouldn't do for her child. The sister of the mother come on and say nothing what the pitney wants, she now go provide. May I tell you, say, it would not have been an issue if these parents were working together across the board. If they were co-parenting properly, taxi money would not have been a problem. Because if you think about it, 10, 15 minutes walk, if you translate that to car ride, you're looking at about 5 minutes, if that much. You understand? So that would not be a lot.
It's not far. I don't know if she's live now. I don't know if what on earth could be wrong with walking to school? I
Yes,
used to walk to
yes,
work.
yes,
You know me,
Stacey.
as a bank teller, I was walking to work, and the distance I used to walk to work is further than the distance he walked.
Now, Davia, I'm gonna stop you. That don't sound right. That doesn't sound right. You are talking about yourself as a grown woman, as an adult bank teller, a professional, going to work to get paid. Okay? You are going to work to get paid. You have decided to walk. You understand me? You are an adult in full cognitive faculties firing, able to make quick and sensible decisions between right and wrong, sense and common sense. And you are expecting a child of 14 to have the same faculties of you as an adult that was going to bank teller work. It is not a good comparison. That is apples and pear, not even apple and orange, apple and pear. It is not comparative because at the end of the day, this is a child and it's a boy and it's a time of high crime. Whole heap of kidnapping that take place. If me was that mother in a foreign, me da feel away. Me da feel away. So instead of you talking about, well, send the taxi money then. If you're saying the time constraints are so bad, communicate with the mother, build the rapport so that she can help out with the finances for the child in that way. How about that? Just a thought.
Before I bought a car, I walked to work. I got up early in the morning and I walked to work. And that was maybe around maybe 20 minutes, but that was a longer walk. I'm not saying that you can't drop a child at school. I am just saying if a child walks to school, it is not a problem either. He would not be the only child in the world to walk to school.
And that's why I have pinned Valerie's comments because I really wanted to address that. Thank you so much, Tammy, as well, for focusing in on that. If you notice that in this entire discussion, the voice of the child is mute, Davia, people pay attention to things like this. Because in all the things that you have expressed and said about the fact that there is nothing wrong with him walking to school, he might not the first picnic if he walk to school, nothing wrong. Me used to do it, me used to walk from yes, I go there, so and so on with me high heel boot for me head. You're giving all of this story, but you have not once said Nate loves walking to school. Nate really enjoys walking with his friends. He's not alone. He has a friend that walks to school alongside him. Listen, I'm hearing that he's got no choice. And I'm saying that it can be done otherwise if you guys work together properly. I have not once heard her express throughout the whole life how much him love walk on the road and he love be with him friend and he enjoy the walk and he look forward to it every morning he must sing. None of that. No voice of the child represented.
So that cannot, how does that solve the passport issue? How is that the reason why you are preventing the child from traveling? That is all the more reason why you should send the passport come so that you can get a nice vacation when after your work. Yeah.
So now,
Walking to school is not the issue. That is exactly it. I don't know if she's on TikTok, Abigail. I don't know. I child is at risk because that is the impression that she wanted to give initially that the child is suffering. We're overworking him because we're giving him chores, we're making him walk to school, we're abusing him. That is the impression she tried to give. I thought that she came off of that. I don't know if she's still saying stuff like that. But if you felt that way about your child, let us say you went to America, right? You left your child with somebody and the father come, the workless father come and take the picnic and not take care of him from where you're living, not taking care of him and abusing him. You as the mother, what would you do? What would you do? If you have a child that you think is being abused, you would have you would have to give up that. Remember, the whole point of her.
hear how unrealistic this is. All right, David, I'm gonna say this. Remember, the woman first left the child where she felt most comfortable. She left the child at a friend that she felt was more trustworthy than the father. Why? Because the initial story is that the father was not fulfilling his responsibilities. He was not there for the little boy and she made her arrangements before she migrated. I'm not saying she did that 100% in the right way because the father must always be aware of the living condition of his child once he's in the picture, be it in partly in a picture, be it only in tow in a picture, he's supposed to know. But you then went and collected the child for holiday and chose not to return the child without consulting the mother. You just took him. You just him. You hear? So now, if it is that you are now in a situation, she's saying that she never wanted him there in the first place. So she's probably thinking that, oh no, I got abuse my picnic. No, no, take my picnic against my will. Now I'm going to explain to you guys because the video, I don't want it drag on too long. And I was going to go into the next story, but I'm going to leave the next story for the next live and done it here. So listen, this mother She tried to get the passport renewed or whatever. But what was happening was that the mother wanted to send for the child to come up for holidays. Listen carefully. She wanted to send for the child to come up for holidays. So she also needed the passport sorting out and needed the father's help to do so at the time. They refused to send him. Yes, they refused to send him because they were under the impression that he would not be returned to Jamaica. They thought the mother was going to keep him in America if they sent him on holiday, and they refused to send him to the mother. Now tell me if that no sound away. So because they don't trust the mother and they think that the mother will want to keep him, they refuse to send him. Now also listen to this other dynamic. The child is a scholarship winner. He received anywhere between, I think it's between 100 and 180,000 a year for his scholarship. It goes towards his fees, etc. But I suppose a percentage of that also goes towards living expenses, books, blah, blah, blah. You understand? The mother is under the impression that the government is sending him to school and they are financially benefiting. That is the impression she's giving in the comments. Like they're financially benefiting from his presence. And therefore his leaving would mean they don't get that money into the household. Wanna hear? Yes? Now, I'm not saying this is true because right now I think the mother is in paranoia mode. She's paranoid because she's feeling as though she's losing grips on her child. And Davia, you and your husband are to blame for that. Yes? Because you took control when you took the child away from the friend without speaking to her about it. You also took control when you said that he's not going to see his mother because you feared that he was going to be kept there against your will, not his, yours. You also took control when you stopped him from seeing the maternal side of the family. I want you to listen. All of this taking control is going to disempower this mother. She's already disempowered because of distance. And there is nothing worse than having to leave your child behind when you migrate. I thank God I've never had to do so. But I can just imagine. I mean, I already get emptiness from the one big picnic when we have a Ghana University weekend. It come like say, part of me gone. You understand? So at the end of the day, because you are right now not empathizing, one, because you're also fighting your husband's battles, protecting your husband's image and ego from being torn apart in the ear of the child. But you are, on the other hand, you are also slating the mother by this very video that you put on TikTok and this very video where you put up on YouTube, if it's still there. So both of you are acting out of character in your own self-interest. But I'm going to tell you this, Davia. When it comes to that child, that mother will win if she decides to push this because it's her biological child. And sometimes as stepmothers, when the mother is in existence, you need to step back, play a supporting role, act as a conduit of peace and understanding. You understand? The father has no say. No, the father has say no, but him using his wife as the mouthpiece, and that me pick up. And really and truly, he not supposed to do that because that is always going to fail. Stepmothers will never win in that respect once that mother is in the picture still. Yes? He is the one who should be doing the communicating with the mother. And making sure that the stepmother is kept abreast of everything. But you see, once she takes the lead, it is going to be a war and a battle. And that poor child is going to suffer for it. Jamaican school no business but then sitting there. As far as I'm concerned, as long as them get the government money, then we turn a blind eye to things like this. Let the woman be a mother to her child. You have the man and your children. Love the child and let him have his mother. PLJ, I could not agree with this more. I know that David is probably thinking she's a more balanced individual. She's more educated. She's got her things together, blah, blah, blah. She sets more of a good example. Those are your judgments and your value judgments of the lady, right? Based on the things that you have said that you have witnessed coming from the mom, you are already value judging her and you are value judging her very negatively. And it isn't right. Because let me tell you something, next to God is a child's mother. Be careful not to interfere with that bond. It will come back and bite you. Take it from those of us who are more experienced and older mothers in the game. Anyway, graduates, I hope you have found this edition informative, interesting, that you've learned something from this discussion. Yes. Make sure to like up the live and big up on a nice clean self. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We can only hope and pray that Davia and the mother sort things out. But I'm telling you this, bringing all of this to public social media is going to make our tongues wag. We're going to talk about it and we're going to look and we're going to watch. Because we want the best for Nate too. No, we invested in a Davia. We invested. Oh, we invested. We want to know what is Nate's next move, what is your next move, what is daddy going to do next. And we want to know if you manage to fix things so that the mother can play a role. And mommy, sort out the passport. Nobody hold back on that. Let the young man at least go on the holidays and build some memories. That is not a reason to hold back on signing it. All right. Big up on a nice clean self, pray for the child. And thank you so much for coming to A Touch of Class with her teacher K. Bye-bye.